Well, hello and welcome back. Mandria, that's where we are, the little picnic area again. One of the fabulous little places where you perhaps might want to come and sit on a morning, or perhaps on an afternoon, or perhaps as that sun goes down. Great places for you to sit up, perhaps have a hot latte, perhaps a beer, or perhaps something even stronger. That's the view. That's the blue Mediterranean Sea on a fabulous day. Just started October, if you're curious to know, and of course people are wandering around having a fantastic time. Let's go and sit down and let's talk about something. What should we talk about today? We'll talk about renting a property when you come to live in Cyprus, and some of the misunderstandings. Many people are pondering, well, why would they rent a property for 12 months, sign a contract, pay the deposit, pay the rent, and then start the immigration process? Because that's the way it works. That's what the Cyprus government wants you to do. And of course it does make a bit of sense, to be honest, by the way. I know people are confused by it, but basically, if you're thinking about coming to live in Cyprus, you are going to get on a plane or perhaps on a dinghy, who knows, but please bring your passport and all of your credentials with you. Otherwise, I promise you, you won't be put up in a 4-star or a 5-star hotel. You will be, okay, right. So you're thinking about coming to Cyprus. You want to live here, perhaps only for a year or perhaps for the rest of your life. What do you need to do? Well, first of all, you need a little bit of money, obviously. We've talked about this many times. If you're a couple, you're going to need approximately £27,000 if you're coming from the UK, which is 30,000 euros. That's what you're going to need, and that's what you need to prove where it's come from. And then of course when you renew the following year, hopefully it'll be the same amount of money. Maybe it'll go up, who knows. We'll find out that next year. So the renting of the property, this is one of the big ones. You've got to have an address. So when you arrive, to start with, you may be staying in a hotel, you might be in an Airbnb for a week or two while you rush round and find somewhere suitable. It hasn't got to be the perfect home for the rest of your life. It's got to be somewhere that you feel comfortable with for the next 12 months. So it could be a 1-bedroom apartment, or it could be that villa of your dreams. Who knows what your budget is? Then you will have a 12-month contract. That is the requirement for when you start the immigration. No buts, that's the way it is. So you have to have a 12-month rental contract with the applicant's names on. So if you are a husband and wife, your names will be on that contract, and of course the person who owns it or the company that owns it. And then that agreement has to go to what we call the muhtar. So that's like the local little mayor, should we say, of that little district, that little area, that little town. He'll stamp it, and we'll give him 25, 30-ish euros. Then it goes to, in this case in Paphos, to the county hall building, should we call it. And again, they're going to stamp it up as well and make it look official. And we're going to give them a few euros as well. So now you have a registered place of address. So if you do something naughty, in theory, they can come and find you, isn't it? That's the idea. So there's no way around it. You've got to have a residence in your name for a period of 12 months. Now, talking about the cost of renting, rents in Cyprus have gone up a lot. They have over the last 2 or 3 years, and unfortunately they're not coming down, so they're only going one way. So there's not a lot we can do about that. What are you going to need to rent a property? Well, you can get a 1-bedroom apartment for around about not less than 550, I would say, ranging up to 950, depending on where you're going to live. Now, no disrespect to Paya, by the way, but there is a huge supply of apartments in Paya, so the rental price is a little bit lower. When we go to Tala, it goes up a little bit, and of course when we come to the main poshish areas of Paphos itself, the rents go through the roof. 850, 900, 1,000 even for a 1-bedroom apartment. So set yourself a budget for a 1-bedroom of around about €750, and you won't go far wrong. If you're looking for a 2-bedroom, you're going to set yourself a budget of, let's say, 1,000 to 1,200. Townhouse around about 1,500. 3-bedroom villa, perhaps with a swimming pool and a little bit of privacy, we're going to be talking 1,800, 2,000 euros. 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, quite a nice villa now, up to 2,000 to 2,500. And of course, the sky is the limit. So if you are coming to relocate to Cyprus, to be honest, you're going to need a budget of somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 euros to get yourself a 2 to 3-bedroom apartment, townhouse, maybe a small bungalow, these kind of things. But of course, those rents compared to the rents in mainland Europe and the UK are very, very reasonable. It's just the shock for Cyprus, isn't it, for the people who've lived in Cyprus for many, many years. I mean, we're helping people that are coming to Cyprus and looking for their, not forever home, but their home for the next 12 months. And their budget's 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. Because, of course, in their home countries, again, the UK, some Scandinavian countries and Northern Europe, it's quite common to pay 1,500, 2,000 equivalent euros for a 2-bedroom apartment. So the rents in Cyprus compared to what they would pay in their country is actually lower. And of course, on top of that, cost of living in Cyprus is lower, and a lot of people are moving here not just for the weather, they're moving here for tax advantages, because the tax in Cyprus, compared to many, many other countries, if you're a foreigner, is much, much lower. Most people are going to come and reside in Cyprus and pay somewhere around 5% tax above just over 20,000 euros. So the threshold's just been risen from 19,500 euros to 20, and I think it's 20,400 to be precise. So you're able to earn just over 20,000 euros per annum and pay no tax. So that's not bad compared to many other countries. And then if you are on a pension, should we say, 5%. If your pension's very, very big, you can choose how you want to pay those taxes, by the way. And dividend income is very, very beneficial if you live in Cyprus, by the way. It's literally zero. Yeah, you heard me correctly, 0%. So we understand why a lot of people come to live in Cyprus and why a lot of people are thinking about coming to live in Cyprus. And on top of that, the weather, not too bad for the first week of October. Cost of living, as we've mentioned, an awful lot lower. The outside lifestyle. I ask you, can you go out on an eve in the first week of October to go out for dinner with your partner or your friends in a t-shirt? Probably not, but you can in Cyprus. That's the advantage of Cyprus. Now, that doesn't mean we don't get some cooler weather. We do. And it can get a bit chopsy-mopsy, you know, a bit of wind and a bit of spray coming in off the sea and the odd shower. But normally, within 20, 30 minutes, it's all dry again and it's all back to that, very, very blue. These are the fabulous things about Cyprus. This little Mediterranean island that sits on the cusp of that blue, 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 blue Mediterranean Sea. And people dream of coming here. They do. Tourist numbers every single year only go one way, and that's up. That's because it is a fabulous place, and the people will give you a very, very warm welcome. Most people who've watched this video have probably been to Cyprus before. They may have stayed in a hotel, on a resort, even in an Airbnb. But they will tell you that the majority, not all perhaps, but the majority of the people that they came into contact with, whether it was in a bar, a restaurant, a clothes shop, the dentist, the pharmacy, wherever it was, most of the people gave them a huge and very, very warm welcome, which cannot be said of many countries now around the world. There's a lot of glumness, shall we say, and dissatisfaction around the world. To be honest, in Cyprus, it's not here. Even though a lot of the people do not earn what you may think they do, they get on with their life and they enjoy the good parts of Cyprus, which is probably what you're wanting to do as well. Forget the tax bits, the relaxed way of life, the calm way of life. Crime, I mean, there's crime, don't get me wrong, there's going to be crime everywhere, isn't there? But you can walk down the streets day and night, and I mean that, down back streets at night time, and have no fear. And that's if you're a woman on your own or a man on your own. I promise you, the odds of you getting into trouble are zero unless you went looking for that trouble. Now that can't be said for many, many places around the world these days. Many European cities and of course UK cities and towns. There are many, many problems. Now we're not going to get into all of that. Everyone watching these little episodes of Marika and Me know some of the reasons why they are thinking about leaving the UK or Germany or France or Italy. And it's not always about cost of living or tax, but these are some of the advantages that you will get if you come to live in Cyprus. Cost of living, lower. Tax, lower. But the standard of living and the way you'll live, that's what you want, isn't it? The weather, much, much kinder to you and puts that smile on your face, knowing that you can plan your week, yeah, not just your day, your week in advance. You could plan to meet friends and perhaps come and walk along Mandria Beach every single day, knowing that even next Thursday it will be sunny. Yeah, that's the beauty of Cyprus, by the way. You could pop into the blue Mediterranean Sea. I know people who go in it every single day, unless it's too rough, obviously. So Cyprus is a fabulous place. Now, if you come to live here, obviously you start to take things for granted. And sometimes you have to slap yourself and look around your environment and start to understand that, yeah, it's not perfect. And it isn't, because, you know, unfortunately, like anywhere in the UK and the rest of Europe, people come around, they put rubbish everywhere and they leave things lying around, but it's probably still cleaner than most places in Northern Europe and the UK. I know there are some exceptions where people are very, very, shall we say, recyclable, shall we say. Is that the right terminology? Probably not. Cyprus has its faults, don't get me wrong, and it does, like anywhere. But overall, even when we put the cost of living and the tax bit aside, you're going to have a much, much better life, I believe, if you live in Cyprus. And many, many people agree with me. There's a lot of people that I come into contact with on a daily basis who've lived in Cyprus for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 20 years, 30 years, and none of them want to go back. So that tells you a lot, doesn't it? And they can afford to go back to wherever they're from, but they take the good with the bad of Cyprus, because there is bad, as there is anywhere, you know. During July and August, it's too hot. It really, really is. And you find yourself literally running from an air-conditioned car to an air-conditioned restaurant to your air-conditioned home. Or perhaps, like a lot of people, they return to their mother country or go on a holiday for an extended period of time to somewhere that little bit cooler. So it's not all a bed of roses, shall we say. But overall, it is a great, great place to live. If you're looking for help and you're looking for advice, our contact details are in the description on this video. Reach out to us via our website, via email, telephone, WhatsApp. Why not schedule a WhatsApp call and talk to me face to face and give me those questions and we'll answer them for you. And hopefully we can hold your hand when you decide to commit and make that move to Cyprus. Come and try it for a year and see if you like it. And I'm pretty sure that you will. And I'm pretty sure that you will stay here for a long, long time. So some of the services we offer, we can meet and greet you at the airport if you wish, by the way. We can organise a hire car for you. We can help you to locate that perfect rental property, short-term or long-term. We can hold your hand through the immigration process, hold your hand while you open that bank account, and we can show you your little world when you come to live in Cyprus. We understand that you are fully grown adults, but when you arrive in a new country, That's when you understand that you need a little bit of help. You need that holding hand, perhaps to find that supermarket, to find that little place which sells, I don't know, that fancy ironing board that you might want. Yes. Let us hold your hand. Get in contact with us. We're helping people every single week, and all of those people are our friends. And all of those people, if you come and see us in Cyprus, you can meet. I'm going to say a huge thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoy our little videos, and hopefully you'll drop in the comments and tell us what you'd like us to talk about next. The humdrum of living in Cyprus, perhaps. What's it like to get up in the morning, look out of the window and think, yeah, what shall I do today? Shall I go up into the mountains? Shall I go down to the beach? Or unfortunately, I've got to go to the supermarket. Which is the best supermarket to go and buy, I don't know, Heinz baked beans? Massive thank you for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed my company, and hopefully you'll come back and join me again very, very soon indeed. Mandria picnic area on a spectacality of a day indeed. All that's missing is you. So come on, just get yourself on that big bird or that canoe and start paddling like crazy. You will not regret it. Come and try Cyprus for a year, and I promise you, your bank balance will be looking a bit better, your health will be looking a bit better, and you will be crescendoing into the rest of your life, the next chapter, and you'll continue to reside on the island of love, which of course is Cyprus. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again very, very soon indeed.